How Japanese minimalism helped us escape modern life's trap. Ever wonder why we feel so overwhelmed, even when we have everything we thought we wanted? What if the secret to breaking free from modern life's endless cycle of stress and stuff isn't about getting more, but about having less? The modern trap. We're living in the most connected, convenient time in history, yet somehow we feel more trapped than ever. Our homes are packed with things we barely use. Our schedules are crammed with activities that don't bring us joy. We're constantly scrolling, buying, consuming, and yet that feeling of satisfaction always seems just out of reach. Sound familiar? We've all been there. That moment when you look around your cluttered room or check your overflowing bank statement and think, how did I get here? The truth is, modern life has set up a pretty clever trap. It promises that the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next experience will be the one that finally makes us happy. But it never quite works out that way, does it? This endless cycle of wanting more isn't just exhausting our wallets, it's exhausting our minds, our relationships, and our sense of peace. We're drowning in choices, stuff, and obligations that we never really chose for ourselves. But here's the thing, there's a way out, and it comes from a philosophy that's been quietly transforming lives for centuries. What is Japanese minimalism? Or, as it's known in Japan, the art of living with less. Now, this isn't just about having an empty room with a single cushion in the corner. It's so much deeper than that. Japanese minimalism is rooted in ancient Buddhist and Zen principles that focus on finding contentment through simplicity and mindfulness. The Japanese have a beautiful concept called ma, which refers to the power of empty space. It's the pause between notes that makes music beautiful, the blank space that makes art meaningful. In our lives, ma represents the breathing room we create when we remove the unnecessary. It's about understanding that sometimes what we don't have is just as important as what we do have. Another core principle is Wabi-Sabi, finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence. This teaches us to appreciate what we have right now, rather than constantly seeking the next shiny thing. It's about seeing the beauty in a simple cup of tea, a quiet morning, or a conversation with a friend without needing it to be Instagram perfect. Unlike Western minimalism, which can sometimes feel cold or stark, Japanese minimalism is warm and intentional. It's not about deprivation, it's about clarity. It's not about having nothing, it's about having exactly what serves your life and brings you genuine joy. The awakening, recognizing the problem. For most of us, the journey toward Japanese minimalism starts with a moment of recognition. Maybe it's standing in our closet full of clothes, but feeling like we have nothing to wear. Maybe it's realizing we're working longer hours to afford things that sit unused in storage. Or perhaps it's that sinking feeling when we're surrounded by people, but still feel completely alone. We live in a culture that equates success with accumulation. More followers, more gadgets, more experiences, more everything. But here's what's interesting. Studies show that once our basic needs are met, additional possessions actually decrease our happiness rather than increasing it. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. When we have too many options, we become paralyzed and less satisfied with whatever we choose. Think about the last time you went to buy something simple, like shampoo. How many varieties were there? How long did you spend comparing features you probably don't even need? That mental energy adds up. Every single day, we're making hundreds of micro-decisions about things that don't really matter, leaving us mentally exhausted for the decisions that do. The breaking point often comes when we realize that our stuff is owning us instead of us the other way around. We're spending weekends organizing things we don't really need, cleaning spaces filled with items we forgot we had, and feeling guilty about purchases we made with the best intentions but never actually use. The Japanese way, core principles. So, how do we break free from this cycle? Japanese minimalism offers us a completely different approach to living. The first principle is Danshari, refuse, dispose, separate. It's about being selective about what comes into our lives, letting go of what no longer serves us and creating clear boundaries between what we need and what we want. But this isn't just about stuff. Danshari applies to everything: commitments, relationships, digital consumption, even thoughts. It's about becoming the gatekeeper of our own experience. Before saying yes to anything new, we ask ourselves, does this align with who I want to be and how I want to live? Another fundamental concept is Ikigai, a reason for being. This helps us focus on what truly matters to us personally, not what society tells us should matter. When we're clear on our Ikigai, decision-making becomes so much easier. That expensive gadget might be cool, but does it support our reason for being? That social commitment might be fun, but does it energize us or drain us? The Japanese also practice Kaizen, continuous small improvements. Rather than dramatic overhauls that feel overwhelming, we make tiny, consistent changes. Maybe we start by clearing one drawer, or we commit to not buying anything unnecessary for a week. These small steps build momentum without triggering our resistance to change. What makes Japanese minimalism so powerful is its focus on intentionality rather than rules. There's no magic number of items you should own or specific way you should organize your space. It's about creating a life that feels authentic and peaceful to you specifically. When we start applying these principles, something magical happens. Our homes become sanctuaries instead of storage units. We wake up in spaces that feel calm and purposeful. Getting dressed becomes simple because everything in our closet fits well and makes us feel good. Cleaning takes minutes instead of hours because there's simply less to clean. But the transformation goes beyond our physical spaces. Our mental clarity improves dramatically. When we're not constantly managing excess stuff, our minds have space to focus on what actually matters. We find ourselves more present in conversations, more creative in our work, and more aware of the simple pleasures around us. Our relationships deepen too. Instead of bonding over shopping trips or comparing purchases, we connect over experiences, conversations, and shared values. We become more generous with our time and attention because we're not constantly distracted by managing our possessions. Financially, the shift is incredible. We stop impulse buying because we've trained ourselves to pause and consider whether something truly adds value. We appreciate what we already have instead of constantly seeking upgrades. Many people find they can work less or save more because their expenses naturally decrease. The most surprising change is often how we relate to time itself. When we're not spending hours shopping, organizing, cleaning, and maintaining excess stuff, we suddenly have time for things we thought we'd lost forever: reading books, taking walks, having long conversations, pursuing hobbies we actually care about. Practical steps to start. Ready to begin your own journey? The beauty of Japanese minimalism is that you can start exactly where you are with whatever you have. Begin by observing your current relationship with your possessions. Spend a day noticing how much time you spend managing things versus using things. Notice which items you reach for repeatedly and which ones you walk past every day. Start with one small area, maybe your nightstand or your desk drawer. Remove everything and only put back what you actually use and enjoy. Notice how this space feels different. Does it feel more peaceful, more functional? This is your baseline for understanding what enough feels like. Practice the one in, one out rule. When something new comes into your life, something else leaves. This keeps the flow moving and prevents accumulation from happening unconsciously. More importantly, it makes you really consider whether you want something enough to let go of something else. Create daily rituals that connect you with the present moment. This might be making your bed mindfully each morning, preparing tea with full attention, or taking 5 minutes to appreciate your space before bed. These small practices help cultivate the mindfulness that's at the heart of Japanese minimalism. Begin questioning your automatic habits. Do you really need to check social media first thing in the morning? Do you actually enjoy all the subscriptions you're paying for? Are you saying yes to commitments that drain your energy? Start noticing these patterns without judgment, just awareness. Your new beginning. Japanese minimalism isn't about creating a picture-perfect life or following someone else's rules about how to live. It's about discovering what enough looks like for you personally and having the courage to live that truth even when the world around you is shouting that more is always better. The path isn't always easy. We live in a culture designed to make us want more, spend more, and do more. But every small step towards simplicity is a step toward freedom. Every item we release with gratitude is space we create for what truly matters. Every time we choose presence over productivity, we're reclaiming our lives from the modern trap. Remember, this is a practice, not a destination. Some days we'll feel clear and intentional. Other days we'll fall back into old patterns. That's perfectly human and perfectly okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's awareness and gentle progress toward a life that feels authentically ours. Your journey toward Japanese minimalism is really a journey home to yourself. It's about stripping away the noise so you can hear your own voice, clearing the clutter so you can see your own path, and letting go of what doesn't serve you so you can embrace what does. The question isn't whether you have enough time or money or willpower to start. The question is, what would your life look like if you focused on what truly matters to you? That life is possible, and it starts with the very next choice you make. What will that choice be?